Indianapolis Colts versus Houston Texans pregame show coming at you right now.
There's no better way to get better at football than playing football. So if you want to...
Taylor's going to finish it!
I've always been confident in my abilities. I think, I'm a guy that can go out there, and I always believe in myself that I'm going to get open and make the play if they throw me the ball.
The third. Ryan, end zone shot for Pierce. He caught it! Oh, what a...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We are here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. He is Jamal Lawrence, and I am Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts, Colts Nation. This is the best way to support us, and as it gets our video out to other passionate Colts fans. And ladies and gentlemen, it is completely free. All right, so the Indianapolis Colts will take on the Houston Texans at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud. Dun, dun, dun. Two of the youngest quarterbacks in the league get the battle in their second ever NFL game. A lot of eyes will be on this game, I think. Just a lot. Stroud was the number 2 overall pick, as you may know, while Richardson was the number 4 pick. Big matchup for the rookies. We are slightly favorites in this away game last time I checked, and I mean, it's like a point. So we're just, we're just there. Let's talk Colts and Texans. Jamal, where are we getting started at?
I think, man, we got to start off with today's injury report that came out. I definitely want to talk about that. Big Q, Quentin Nelson, did not practice again today due to that toe injury. It's not very promising for us. It's not what I want to hear, especially going into another divisional game. Drew Ogletree was limited today for his concussion, but he definitely got some reps in there, so that makes me feel pretty good. I'm glad to hear that. But most importantly, Zach Moss, full participation today. That's some good news for us, as we know with our non-existent run game. Zach Moss is going to have the weight of the world on his shoulders when he comes back, if he comes back. Just because he's in full participation does not necessarily mean he's going to play, but let's go ahead and say that he is for what it's worth. He's going to have a lot to step up to coming back into this game for week 2 for us. So definitely glad to see him back, but I hope that maybe Big Q they just gave him some, rest time. I read one thing on Twitter. I forgot who posted it that said he was doing a little bit of work on the sideline. So that makes me feel a little better. But, I'm going to go on a limb here and say he probably won't play. So let's go ahead and get our big boy pants on, especially for the offensive line, because they're going to have some work cut out if he does not play, Eric.
Yeah, I was a little worried because I saw Braden Smith didn't participate on Wednesday as well. Looks like he's back to full, like I've always said, Braden Smith is one of the most underrated tackles, in my opinion, in the league. But yeah, we miss Quentin Nelson. It's going to look rougher for our offensive line. I didn't think they played horrible, but I thought, because I was looking back at some film, I did think Richardson held on to the ball a lot longer than he needed to. But losing the 4 or 5 time all pro is not good. But Zach Moss, we need him. He ripped up the Texans last year. I would like to see him do that again this year. But before we get any further, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Football season is back, and you know what that means. Touchdown dances, Sunday tailgates, and epic fantasy showdowns. But fellas, let's not forget the real MVP of the season. Introducing the all-new Beard Hedger Pro Kit by Manscaped. Your ultimate luxury beard grooming experience. This kit is your secret weapon for staying sharp on and off the field. Don't fumble this opportunity. Head to manscaped.com and elevate your grooming game with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. You heard that right, 9 million men or 109 MetLife stadiums. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code COLTSCAST. Beard Hedge Pro Kit is a grooming powerhouse built for the precision and style, just like your favorite quarterback, Anthony Richardson. This kit tackles beard touch-ups effortlessly, ensuring you're always prepped for the next play. Plus, it has compact design for easy portability. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code COLTSCAST at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code COLTSCAST. Your grass is not artificial. Keep it shaved with Manscaped.
Eric, just want to point out one thing real quick that you just read about with the Manscaped ad. Did you know? So I know it said 109 MetLives, but just for reference, for Lucas Oil that can hold 70,000 people, that'll be 128.5 Lucas Oil Stadium. So all our Colts fans out there, just so you know, 9 million people, 128 6 Lucas Oil stadiums, or 29.
Fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. Look, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. I think Richardson had the better week 1. I mean, better completion rate, more yards on the ground, more touchdowns. To me, that's better to a Texans fan. Maybe not. No, we did lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I think Anthony Richardson won that game. Yeah, might have lost the battle, won the war. Expectations weren't high for him, and he exceeded mine. Like he exceeded expectations by mine. I think he did for most Colts fans. That's what I'm hearing around. He made the offense exciting to watch, and also didn't make a ton of mistakes that the haters were preying on. They're like, oh, he's going to lead the league in interceptions. Nope. That's going to be Josh Allen. I believe he's ahead of schedule. You know, a lot of thanks to Shane Steichen and how he implemented Richardson against the Jaguars. Sure, we didn't see a lot of downfield passes. That's maybe a knock on us. But it looked to me that Richardson was trying to get the ball out quickly. I think that was the game plan all along. You know, they said he didn't have accuracy in the short intermediate game. I saw, you know, pretty decent accuracy out there. You know, some passes didn't go to the right place, but overall, like, we didn't see this, you know, completion rate that was going to be around his college average, that 53%. We didn't see that. So the fact that he is succeeding in this timing and rhythm offense, you know, with so little experience under his belt, I think that's amazing. Looking back on it, I think Steichen wanted to keep it simple for his debut, and let's try to establish the run game. You know, we tried to lean on it a little bit. QB design runs. Let's get Richardson to make some reads, see what he can do there, which he's used to. RPO game with some quick passes. I mean, that's probably the most complex part is the reads he has to do, but nothing where he has to, you know, got to work through those first and second reads and try to go down his progressions. Didn't have to wait for a play to develop. It was more just, let's try the quick game. Let's get the chains moving. Simple yet effective, I thought, for the most part. You know, going into the fourth quarter, we were up. It was working. So, you know, defenses have to adjust for his mobility. I thought that opened the field up for us, and I just think things are looking good for our guy, right? You know, I can't wait to see what he looks like on Sunday.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, man. I forgot we talked about it during the early episodes, especially during the summer, where we mentioned how we thought Shane Steichen would come in and play it safe for Richardson to build some confidence in him. That's exactly what happened. You know, we all know, everyone in the world, anybody who watches football knows that he can launch this ball 60 yards, no problem. We don't need to see that every single play. What we want to see is confidence being built. They've already talked about so much how he keeps his composure during the game. Or during the situations. I don't want to say just the game, but just during all situations. So when I hear that, I want to see him just continue to build on that confidence. We know he has to get out there to play better. And for the people who are out there talking that good talk about, oh, you know, he should be playing better than this, whatever the case is, guys, remember, this is only game number 14, official game number 14 for him of his football career. I know many of you can probably think back to your 14th official day at your job. I'm pretty sure you all weren't proficient at it. You know, I'm sure you still had a lot of work to do. So
Oh,
don't sit back.
That is awesome.
Don't sit back and dog him over things that, you know, that take time to learn and to develop, because like you said, Eric, I think he's right on track, if not maybe a little bit ahead of track for what we want. And I'm excited to see that. I think that he's definitely, I mean, they were talking to him just this week. I think it was yesterday. They're kind of asking, you know, what was his thoughts on this QB versus QB battle he's going into. And he says, you know, he didn't really think of these things as who's better. Because when he did that back in college, it threw him off for a game. And Eric, you probably know what game I'm talking about. It was the game against Kentucky with Will Levis. He went in there trying to be the better quarterback, and it backfired on them. So he's here just to do his job. And, you know, I'm not mad about it, because in my eyes and the rest of Colts Nation's eyes, and I'm sure in your eyes, Eric, he is the better quarterback than CJ Stroud. So there's no competition for him. He just has to go out there and do his job, and he does it well. So I'm excited to see that. Now, I will be the first person to tell you that I do think that we're going to have a little bit of a challenge with some of the stuff that goes on with the Texans, especially on their defensive side of the ball versus our offensive side of the ball. But there aren't things I'm too terribly concerned about. So we know D'Amico Ryan's tough defensive coach. He's the head coach for them, but he loves that defense, and I think that he's going to try his best, especially as he has a rookie quarterback, to trip up our rookie quarterback. He's getting to see some of the mistakes that a rookie quarterback can make every single day in practice. So I think that he'll definitely try to throw Richardson off his game early and get into his head. And I think that could be a really big issue whenever we think about Quentin Nelson. We talked about that injury earlier. And if Quentin doesn't play on Sunday, that's going to be a big gap right there. I could see them stacking the box extra heavy to go against Anthony Richardson, because we have to worry about, a backup guard being in at that spot. So of course, it's not been official yet of whether he's going to play or not. But that's one thing that scares me, especially because when I watch some of that film against Baltimore, man, they're especially in that first half, the Texans' defensive line was just getting through to the backfield, getting to Lamar. And of course, Lamar can evade pressure like none other. Richardson can evade pressure too, but Richardson is a lot bigger than Lamar, so Lamar can kind of slither his way through some of the cracks. Some of these pockets that Lamar can slither through, Richardson can't, just because of his sheer size. And it has nothing to do with his speed. So I fear that whenever it comes to how aggressive their defensive line can play. But it's one of those things where I think that that's also going to turn into a positive for us, because we're going to see more of that intermediate game. We may not see those deep balls downfield because the play may not have enough time to develop where Richardson could take a 5-7 step drop back to get the ball to Pierce 30-40 yards down the field. So we may see more of that intermediate game coming at us, which I'm completely content with, because we have a young man by the name of Josh Downs who can still catch the ball. What he have 7 targets last week, and he only caught 3 of those for 39 yards, I believe it was, or something like that.
Well, I would love Richardson. I would love this offense to attempt a pass over 20 yards.
Sure.
Don't think I'm pretty sure they didn't attempt one pass over 20 air yards, which I don't know. I think Jacksonville, they just started adjusting at the very end of the game, and I think we got to switch it up a little, man.
No, I agree, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's something that kind of Baltimore did against Houston as well. In the second half, they switched it up, and that's kind of when their defense got thrown off. That's when Zay Flowers came more of a factor in there, and the run game was more of a factor for the Ravens. So I was going to piggyback right off that to say I want to see Josh Downs more of that Zay Flower-esque player. I know they're not the same guy, but just that the way he was able to get 15, 20 yards down the field. He was able to still catch wide receiver screens. The running game picked up. There was a lot more fluidity throughout that offense, and the Texans defense shut down. So that's what I want to see our offense do, is step up, make those adjustments in the second half to keep the Texans defense on their toes and be more aggressive and be more efficient. And I'm hoping that it'll change a little bit with Zach Moss back there, because I don't know, maybe Steichen felt like his back was against the wall with some of the play calling, just because we knew that Richardson was our rushing leader. Next person up had 14 yards, I believe it was 14 or 10 yards, something like that. So maybe he just felt like he had to keep the ball short. I don't know, but I would like to think with Zach Moss back there, maybe it's going to open up the playbook a little more for us coming into this week, where maybe we can do some more play action style plays and make the box become, what am I trying to say? Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, complete the play actions or to get the ball downfield. I completely lost my train of thought with that. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
I feel like did we see any play action plays? Because I feel like that. I don't know if Richardson's going to be in that type of offense.
I don't know. I mean, he probably won't be, I guess, and I shouldn't say play action. I mean, I guess it could still be more RPO. I don't know. I feel like
I'm just trying to think. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if I saw any pre-action snap or play action snaps. I don't know. My head's a little foggy today, but no. CJ Stroud and Richardson. I know we're hoping we got the better quarterback, but yeah, we got to see. Stroud got taken to 2 spots ahead for a reason. So I want to see, how these quarterbacks, especially Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, how they do, this whole stretch of the season, because, I'm hoping we got the best quarterback in the draft. Just got to see it play out. But yeah, I don't know. The Houston Texans are still the Houston Texans to me. Mm-hmm. They aren't very good. And if you void out last year, I mean, we've dominated them for years and years and years. So Because like you look at the Ravens and Texans game stats, this is kind of astonishing. So they lost by 16, right? But the Ravens had less total yards, more penalties, and more turnovers. And I don't know, that's confusing to me, because when you hear a team has less total yards, more penalties, more turnovers, the game should at least be closer or they lose. But I don't know. I don't know what the Texans did. It seemed like when they got in the red zone, they pulled a Colts, 2022 Colts could not score a touchdown. I mean, they were limited at 3 field goals. But I don't know. Zach Moss is back. I'm hoping Quentin Nelson is there. We really need them. And, the Houston Texans, they do have some talent.
Oh, yeah.
Like Laramie Tunsil, incredible tackle. I would say top 3 offensive tackle in the game. Damian Pierce, probably the better back than Zach Moss. He's a very strong running back. I think that's probably the best way to describe him. Lots of power, physicality. Like, do you remember? Have you seen that run he had at Florida? I know it was in college, but that man broke like 3 tackles. His helmet came off on the first broken tackle, and he just kept going.
Jesus.
Like he had a helmet on. Yeah, I don't know. He's putting his shoulders into defenders with no helmet. I mean, he won it. He be eating in the backfield. But yeah, he has that ability to break off for explosive plays. I'm a little worried about that, but I'm hoping our guys can make the tackles when needed. Will Anderson Jr., you were just talking about that D-line. He's kind of X factor there. Like, looked pretty good against the Ravens. They invested a lot in that guy. I'm hoping Ryman or Smith can hold up, wherever he lines up. That's going to be scary, right?
Oh, it's absolutely going to be scary. And I'm hoping, with that being said, that the little talk that Trevor Lawrence had with Richardson at the end of the game about, going down and protecting your body, helps him out, especially against guys like Will Anderson and these other guys, because we don't want to see him getting hurt. I don't need to see that Josh Allen style play that we saw the other day where it was just like all over the place. I want my quarterback to be protected and be safe and get out of bounds when need be, slide when he needs to. I know he's a big dog. He can take hits, but we don't need you to get popped by these defensive ends and these linebackers play after play after play after play.
Yeah, we saw that scare last game. I really don't want to see that. So I'm hoping that was, when they were cooking up the drawing board, Steichen, whoever, Cam Smith, whoever just told him and said, or Cam Turner, I'm sorry, just told him, look, slide next time. like, bro, go out of bounds. I don't want to see him get destroyed. But John Mechie might be back. He's back at practice, and this guy's battled leukemia all last season, so he didn't get to play his rookie year. Shout out to him and making a great recovery, beating cancer.
Absolutely.
But look, this guy was amazing at Alabama. Got to make sure he's not going to beat our guys once he gets the ball in the hands. He was scary after the catch. So those are some key players I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. We're talking about a Texans team that won 7 games in the past 2 years. Unfortunately, we were part of those L's that were handed over for them to get W's. And even with some of these players they're going to have coming back, we're going to get tested again. I just checked the lines again, Eric, and we are no longer the favorites. They actually are now about 1.5. So, yeah. So,
oh, wow. It opened like at -1 or -1.5. It's moving.
Yep. So now it's -1.5 for them. So it's interesting to see what's going on, man. And I think that is kind of just setting the tempo and the precedent for what's gonna come on Sunday. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, I'm gonna just end it with, I believe we have the more dynamic quarterback. Yeah, I like Stroud. I like Stroud before the draft, but what I've seen from Richardson, I like Richardson more. He doesn't have that supreme supporting cast around him anymore. Talking about CJ Stroud, like, it's different now. He's got to adjust. It's different when Kwity Paye, DeForest. DeForest Buckner was the second. Yeah, he was in the top 4 for PFF's highest graded. I believe it was defensive lineman for the week 1.
Heck yeah,
and he was at 2. right behind. I want to say it was TJ Watt. I don't remember, but I mean, impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Impressive. DeForest Buckner balled out. Got one of the highest grades. It's gonna be different when he's got to see him. He's got to see Stewart. He's got to see Bukum. I think Gus Bradley's defense is gonna be on lock against a less talented team. Jaguars, we gave them a run for their money. If we can establish a run game, we got Zach Moss back. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a little different. Playbook's gonna change. I expect a rebound game from Alec Pierce, so we're going to be having words about that. If they want even a remote shot at competing this year, they can't start out 0-2.
Yeah,
not in the division, man. They can't do it. So they got to make a statement on the road here before we got to see Baltimore. Avoid starting 0-2. Let's start 1-1. That's way better than 0-2. 0-2 feel like who we draft next year.
Yeah, exactly.
1-1 sounds like, all right, bet we end this thing. Like we took one, but we back up. 0-2 is like, it's like, welcome to the Colts cast, guys.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's sad. It's gonna be real sad. So I'm expecting a win here.
I'm expecting a win as well. I mean, if we play anything like we did against the Jags at least for the first half and going into third quarter, I think that we can pull off a nice game. I think we kind of got tested with the Jags and we understood that we could step up to the plate and play on such a high level with them. And of course, our defense stepped up a whole lot for us. I'm trying to see Ziggy get drug tested again for getting another 18 tackles. So
that man is second in the lead in tackles.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Another guy that was absolutely insane.
Yep.
And I saw some haters that they were saying, Zaire Franklin getting all those tackles, that's not always a good thing. He could be, letting him get a catch and pass coverage. Come on, man.
Hey.
Come on, man.
Let him do his thing. He was looking clean out there. I'm going to let him keep doing his thing. And I'm going to let the offense do their thing too. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, Eric, the Colts are going to win this thing. We're about to drop some points this game. About to drop some points.
On D'Amico Ryans after you just said their defense was nice?
Yes, I said their defense is nice, but I also watched what the Ravens did the second half, and they still play sloppy. And they managed to pull off points. We're going to win 31-14. We're giving up 14. 2 tutties. 31-14. That's the final. I'm going to lock it in.
Lock it in?
Lock it in.
Exact score?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I like it. Was I close last week? I don't think I was. I think I said 24-20, Colts win. So I think we scored 21, they scored 31. That's not too close.
It was in competition for a long time. Let's be real. It was in competition for a long time.
I think it'll be a closer game than that. If we beat them by 20 points, I don't care if they're the Houston Texans. If the Indianapolis Colts offense puts up 34 points, with or without the help of the defense, because D-Buck did score 7 for us.
That's true. He did. He
did play 6. But if our offense can put up 34 points on a D'Amico Ryans defense, or this pod episode gonna be different on Sunday. I'm just saying, like that. Whew, it will be looking good. But yeah, I'll go with I hate doing these score predictions.
I know.
We'll leave it in my head. I'll go with yours, 34. I ain't gonna worry about it.
Dude, go say 19-18.
Yeah, let's do it. 19-18. I said it'd be a close game. So that is a wild score. 19 though. That's something bad happened.
Something real bad. Yeah.
Let's go 20-18. All right. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Peace.